In a world full of smartwatches, Amazfit has differentiated itself from the competition in the market. They provide a fantastic experience at reasonable prices, and right here is their latest Amazfit GTR 4 watch. I have been daily driving the watch for quite some time now, and it's time for an in-depth review. And to give you a spoiler, I have to say that this is probably the best watch of the GTR series yet. It has almost all the features you will need with one major shortcoming / blunder, which I have discussed at the end of the video in the cons section. By the way, feel free to use the chapters to jump to the relevant parts of the review. But before we dive into the bad stuff, let's start with the good. In terms of looks, I feel this generation GTR 4 looks more like a traditional watch, and with good watch faces, you can change the GTR 4's look. You can also customize the stock straps as it comes with a 22mm strap. While we are talking about the strap, let me mention that this is probably one of the best quality straps I have seen in any Amazfit watch. I didn't feel uncomfortable while wearing the watch in daily usage. Still, out of all the watches I have used, I still find the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 strap to be the best. But this one is pretty good too. The case of the watch is made of aluminium alloy with a brushed finish. I have super speed black variant, and that's why the case has a little brownish tint. If you like silver color case, then go with the leather variant of the GTR 4. There is also a nylon variant that comes with a black color case. I like this variant more as leather and nylon straps are not that long lasting, and I won't consider them to be ideal for running, swimming or any other similar activity. They remain wet for a long time and will experience wear and tear faster. For controlling the watch, you get two buttons on the side. One is the crown button and other one is the flat button. This is a welcome change for me compared to the previous GTR 3. Because now the watch has only one crown that can get stuck while putting on my jacket. To be fair to Amazfit, I am being overly picky as it only happens in some of my jackets. The new flat style button seems to be very much Watch 4 inspired. It is a reprogrammable button that by default opens workout profiles. You can use the crown to open the menu, exit any app, or hold it down to open Alexa. This holding down function to open Alexa is customizable too, so you can set it to open something else if you want. It could be an app, shortcut or some function you use often. The button feels tactile and haptic feedback while using the crown is also pretty good. Haptic is not the best, but it's good given the price. The back of the watch features a polycarbonate shell with a spray coating. When you touch, it really feels smooth like a ceramic material. One thing I didn't like design wise is the speaker grill on the side. I found dust getting accumulated here more than often. In terms of size, this is a pretty big watch. The dial is 46mm and the thickness is around 10.6mm. And despite the big size, the watch is not heavy and weighs only 34 grams. I never had any problem wearing the watch, no matter whether I was riding my bike or sleeping wearing the watch. One issue about the watch is that there is no Gorilla Glass or Sapphire for display protection. Amazfit has provided some kind of tempered protection, and that does seem to be doing a good job. It also has an anti-reflective and anti-glare coating, and it works as advertised. By the way, the display on the watch is 1.43-inch AMOLED display, and it sports a display resolution of 466 by 466 with a pixel density of 326 ppi. What it means for you is that the text looks sharp and the watch doesn't look pixelated in day-to-day usage. To use the watch, you would need to download and install the Zepp app on your Android or iOS smartphone. The user interface is pretty simple to use. By default, the app opens up the home page where you can see your daily steps, calorie burned, sleep score, heart rate, PI score, workout history and other useful metrics. Next up is the health card. Here you can start tracking your walking, running or cycling activity. You can also set or adjust your daily targets for steps, calories burned and sleep targets here. Going to the watch page, you will be able to enable or disable heart rate tracking. Set heart rate alert to get a notification once it falls below or exceeds the set threshold. If you don't wear the watch at night, then consider disabling sleep tracking, blood oxygen tracking, and breathing quality monitoring. So tinker with all these settings under the health monitoring option. Besides that, using the Zepp app, you can also transfer music, enable Bluetooth calling, download apps, and enable notification sync, and a lot more. One thing I like about GTR 4 is the fact that there's only one app to manage all the functions of the watch. Samsung uses two apps, which in my opinion is not the ideal way to connect and manage your smartwatch. I usually talk about the battery life of a smartwatch towards the end of the video. But today, let's try something new. I did a battery test with my GTR 4 over here to closely monitor what my usage looked like so you can get a better idea of GTR 4 battery life. First things first, during my battery's entire testing period, the always on display, blood oxygen monitoring and heart rate monitoring was enabled at all times. And GTR 4 comes with a 475 mAh battery. I fully charged my watch to 100% at 3:12 pm on 26 September. While riding back home from work, I realized that GTR 4 is tracking my motorcycle rides as cycling. I decided to keep it enabled to test GTR 4 battery. So on some days, GTR 4 recorded my motorcycle rides both to and fro from my work. My commute from home to office usually lasts somewhere between 15 to 25 minutes depending on the traffic. So entire time the watch uses GPS and actively tracks my heart rate. I have explicitly mentioned on which days the watch tracked my ride and on which days it didn't. The next morning on 27 September, the battery was 80% and while returning home, I decided to put my watch in my bag with 74% battery left. My motorcycle ride of 19 minutes was recorded as well. On 28th, I woke up to find the battery to be still at 74% as I didn't wear the watch previous night. So the watch didn't track my sleep, which resulted in no battery usage. Then I went for an hour-long 7km run which consumed 10% battery. By the end of the day, I was left with 60% battery and no motorcycle rides were recorded on this day. On 29 September, I did 38 minutes of outdoor walking and the watch recorded 30 minutes of my commute as cycling. And I ended my day with 47% battery. I forgot to log my morning battery percent for this particular day. On 30th September, I woke up with 29% battery in the morning. And the watch recorded and tracked my 40 minutes of commute as cycling. I also recorded 31 minutes of outdoor walking with GPS enabled. And GTR finally died on October 1st. So a full battery charge lasted me almost 4.5 days. I am sure I can get more battery out of it if I disable always on display or continuous heart rate tracking. If your typical usage looks like step tracking and notification sync, then without a doubt Amazfit GTR 4 will last you a single week. Amazfit GTR 4 is pretty simple to use. Swiping left to right will show you shortcut cards. So you can access different apps or health metrics here, and you can even customize them if you want. Swiping right to left will bring you a widget screen. Obviously you can customize it to get relevant widgets here. I have kept my stress, sleep and health monitoring widget here. But you can keep widgets that matter to you the most as you also get the option to customize them. Swiping from below will bring you all the notifications that you have received on your phone. On the previous version of Zepp OS, all the notifications used to be jumbled, but now they are nicely separated by the app name. And tapping on them allows you to see individual apps. So simply tap on the notification you want to read. There are very limited options for you to interact with these notifications. So you can reply with emojis or pre-saved messages or just delete them. Swiping from above brings the control center. Here you can quickly toggle on and off many features of the watch. You can turn on DND, bedtime mode, theater mode, check date, manage volume, screen timeout, brightness, turn on or off Bluetooth and more. By the way, check out my Amazfit GTR 4 tips and tricks video to know the best hidden features of GTR 4. In the app drawer, you will find all the apps that you have installed at the bottom. Not only that, you will be installing many apps as the app situation on Zepp is not ideal. More on that later. There is also a phone app. You can use it to make calls using your Amazfit GTR 4 watch. You can upload up to 50 contacts onto the watch, and you will have to sync them manually using the Zepp app. We did a call and microphone quality test and found the onboard speaker and microphone to be quite good. You can also take manual readings of your heart rate, blood oxygen and stress using the apps available in the app drawer. There are plenty of other useful apps here as well, like workout stats, workout history, weather, alarm, calendar, cycle tracking, stopwatch, world clock, find my phone and more. By the way, you can also customize the app drawer to get a different style app menu. And there are also 3 theme designs available to change your app drawer's design. Let's now move to the health and fitness tracking. Amazfit GTR 4 comes with the latest generation BioTracker 4.0 PPG sensor. This sensor can track your blood oxygen and heart rate accurately. I compared the data with an oximeter and results were pretty good. The watch does a pretty decent job of tracking sleep. It can track your light, deep and REM sleep cycles. Amazfit GTR 4 can track how many times were you awake and give you a sleep breathing quality score. It can also track your breathing rate per minute. However, I won't be so sure about the accuracy of these metrics. As Amazfit itself says, sleep breathing quality monitoring is in beta mode. Another thing that I have recently noticed is that Amazfit watches are slightly more generous in offering you a sleep score. So most of the time your sleep score won't be an issue for you. Overall, the watch is accurate in recording and detecting your sleep hours, but I won't say that sleep score is perfect. The watch can also monitor your stress continuously and also give you a reminder to calm down if stress is too high. However, I have never seen it working in action and have never gotten any actual alerts. This is not an issue only on GTR 4, as I have reviewed other Amazfit watches on our channel as well. They had this issue too. There is also the one-tap measurement function on Amazfit GTR 4 that can track your blood oxygen, heart rate, breath per minute and stress within 45 seconds. Now let's move on to the sports tracking of GTR 4. Amazfit GTR 4 comes with more than 150 plus sports profiles, and in my day-to-day life I have used running, walking and cycling profiles extensively. When I say cycling, here I don't always mean riding my motorcycle. And if you have watched my Amazfit GTR 4 GPS and heart rate accuracy test video, then you know I am impressed. To illustrate, let's talk about running. I compared my Amazfit GTR 4 run analysis with Garmin and the result was almost the same. Not only that, the watch can track your cadence, pace, stride, altitude, calories burned, workout load, oxygen uptake, aerobic and anaerobic training effect and a lot more. Also, it has a dual band multi-navigation satellite chip that offers way more tracking accuracy in the outdoor environment. Amazfit GTR 4 supports GLONASS, Galileo, GPS, BDS and QZSS satellites to track your runs. To know more about them, you can watch my GPS accuracy test video. I have also discussed what is dual band GPS in detail there. Another great thing about this generation GTR 4 is that it also comes with a map importing feature. This was first introduced in Amazfit T-Rex 2 as you can see on screen, but it is yet to be rolled out for Amazfit GTR 4. Besides that, you can also now connect a Bluetooth heart rate strap for better heart rate accuracy during workout. Moreover, the watch comes with interval training, which is pretty useful tool for runners. Besides all that, the watch also features cycling, swimming, treadmill, pool swimming, jump rope and various other profiles. Once the workout is over, you also get the training effect, VO2 max and estimated recovery time on the watch as well. Given the price of the watch, this is a pretty feature-loaded smartwatch, especially when it comes to sports tracking. Enough about sports tracking, it's time to talk about smart features. One feature that was announced by Amazfit during the initial launch was the fall detection feature. How it works in other smartwatches is that whenever the watch detects a fall, It either dials first responders or sends your location to designated emergency contact. It might take 2 to 3 months for the update to get released. You can also play music on the watch and connect Bluetooth headphones. There are also built-in maps like breath available that can help you in relaxing if you are feeling stressed. It also has a built-in altimeter, compass and barometer sensor. So you can track direction, altitude and changing atmospheric pressure using the watch as well. In the apps department, Amazfit has added plenty of apps and the head count is now 20 to 30ish apps. Most of the apps in my opinion are not up to the mark, but some are useful like this Notify for Google Maps app. Using it you can get turn-by-turn directions on the watch screen. However, it is not perfect either, as the display keeps turning off according to your set timeout. You can check out my How to Get Navigation on GTR 4 video to know more. The watch also has built-in Alexa and offline voice control. I found the latter to be more useful as it allowed me to control the watch offline. There is also a camera control feature that basically lets you control your phone's shutter. But for some reason it didn't work for me. The last two Amazfit watches that I tested had no similar issue. By the way, if you have GoPro, then you will also be able to control it remotely using your Amazfit GTR 4. You can change modes, start and stop recording and more using the GoPro app available on the App Store. While the watch looks perfect, but it has few minor and one major problem. For example, a lot of features and apps like Notify for Google Maps are not available for iOS devices. And a lot of apps on the App Store are just subpar and seem to be there to show quantity over quality. There is no YouTube Music, Spotify or Amazon Prime support. So if you use those services, then you won't be able to carry forward your playlist to the watch. Major issue is the Bluetooth latency on Amazfit GTR 4. I have transferred music on this Amazfit GTR 4 right here and I noticed there is a major latency issue here. If I increase or decrease the volume on GTR 4, it takes some time for it to get reflected on my earphones. And it is quite noticeable as well. I tested the issue with 3 different earphones and the issue was on all 3 of them. I don't know whether or not this is a hardware issue on my watch or just a bad performance. The reason I am reporting the issue is because it irritates me every once in a while doing outdoor workouts. So do share your experience in the comment section below. There is also built-in family link feature. It didn't work for me at the time of recording the video, which is the case with most new features on Amazfit watches. One question that many of you asked me is whether or not the watch is recording heart rate or sleep while laying on the table. No, I didn't face any issues like that and I don't know why it's happening to you. Last drawback is that if you are coming from Galaxy or Apple Watch series, then you are also going to find app availability to be limited. And you are really going to miss multitasking as the back button here means apps getting closed. The upside of that is that you get good battery life as we discussed. So what's the conclusion? Should you buy it or not? Answer to that question is, it depends. At the time of making the video, I mean right now you can buy Amazfit GTR 3 Pro and Watch 4 for less. If you will go with Watch 4, you will get app support, decent sports tracking, multitasking, Google Assistant, Samsung Pay. I mean you get my point. Watch our review or comparison video to know more. Similarly, the major upgrade between GTR 3 Pro and GTR 4 is support for chest strap, fall detection, map importing feature and new strength training profile. And I believe not everyone is going to use them. So why pay extra if old generation watches can still do the job for you? In fact, I would argue don't upgrade if you have any of the watches already. However, if you have $200 or 17,000 Indian rupees to spend and don't already own a GTR 3 Pro or Watch 4, then definitely go with GTR 4. It comes with unique features like map importing function, Bluetooth heart rate support, looks stylish and good. I think extra money is worth it in the long run. Thank you for watching the video. Press the thumbs up if you like it, down if you don't. Also consider subscribing to our channel as we make various videos, guides, in-depth tutorials and comparisons like this on wearable tech.